Hey, what's up guys, OSJ here with a Patreon request from Sid Chowdhury, who recently became a Patreon, and as with all my Patreons, gets a video request done. He would like to see a video on Electronic Arts games. Yeah, that software giant that we all now know as the scourge of gaming. Well, back in the C64 times they actually did some really innovative and interesting games. As this is a software house I haven't covered, I set to work and I had a real mixed bag of games, so I've condensed it down to 20 games that I think are the best. On that note, if you would like to become a Patreon like Sid and get perks like your name in the end credits, video requests and more, get on over to my Patreon page and pledge for as little as $1. Anyway, enough Patreon promotion, let's take a look at what I would say are the 20 best Commodore 64 Electronic Arts games ever made. Kicking us off in 20th place we have Man Ugh Lympics. So this is probably the least thinking man's game on the list, and it is, as you would expect, an Olympic style game, but in caveman days. The events are all Stone Age events ranging from lighting a fire to throwing a cave woman. All in all, it's a great alternative sporting game that is a lot of fun like the epic sports games. In 19th place is taken by Strike Fleet. This is a marine strategy simulation game that can eat away a lot of the time out of your life once you get into it. The game isn't really for arcade action lovers, but if you want a game that's going to pull you in and have you playing for hours as you command a fleet of battleships, then it doesn't get much better than this. Sentinel Worlds 1 Future Magic is in 18th position, so many people will say that the DOS version of this is the best, and to be honest, it is. But we're here on the C64 and the game still rocks. It's an RPG that has loads of different elements, from space fights to exploring planets with customizable characters and ships. What more could a sci-fi fan want? Oh yeah, and it has some unofficial stars like Sigourney Weaver and Arnie in. In 17th place we have Fire King. So Fire King is a game that I featured in the Hidden Gems series that I did last year. It's a Gauntlet style game that for me outdoes the game it's based on. The graphics are great and the gameplay is so smooth it just keeps you playing. I have played this game regularly since finding it on the Gems series and hope now it's also on this list it gets more love. Sixteenth place is taken by Super Boulder Dash. So this is a compilation of the two brilliant Firestart software games, Boulder Dash 1 and 2. That's it really, nothing else. But this was from Electronic Arts, and the fact you get 2 for 1 is brilliant, as we all know that C64 Boulder Dash is awesome. Dragon Wars is in 15th position. Now this is a game that has a little controversy surrounding it, so much so it nearly wasn't Electronic Arts. Interplay, who did the Bard's Tale trilogy, were going to release this as Bard's Tale 4, but as Electronic Arts owned the rights to Bard's Tale, they changed the name and even held some stuff back from Bard's Tale 3 to use in this game. What we got here is a great RPG with auto mapping, which with games like this is a brilliant thing. In 14th place we have Lords of Conquest. So Lords of Conquest is a strategy game much like Risk. It sort of reminds me of Defender of the Crown too, without the action sequences. The aim is, like with most territorial domination games, to take over the opponent's land by way of war. It's an easy game to get into, and if you like Risk then you will love this. 13th place is taken by mail order monsters. So remember in the intro I said EA did some really innovational games? Well, this is definitely one of them. It's a weird concept in where you buy a monster and then power it up with weapons to take on other monsters in the game. It reminds me a bit of Archon in the action sequences, which we will see later on this list. Ultimate Wizard is in 12th position. This is a truly great puzzle platform game that takes Jumpman to a whole new level. The game is an enhanced version of Wizard, which was already a great game, and although people always say there's no difference, there is. The construction element is improved and it has enhanced levels of difficulty, making this one hard but addictive game. In 11th place we have the Mars Saga. I think as we move through this list we are seeing that Electronic Arts were brilliant at making RPGs, and in the Mars Saga we get just that. What I love about this game is there's something for everyone. Action, adventure, but most of all engrossing gameplay. If you like your RPGs and you haven't played this one, get on it now. Tenth place is taken by Neuromancer. So everyone knows that I love Zack McCracken and Maniac Mansion, but I have to say that this is also a great adventure game that has a real futuristic atmosphere. Some people complain about the graphics, but for me they are fine, and the whole storyline is brilliant and one that keeps you playing. Saying that, it's one I've never completed, so must go back to it. Seven Cities of Gold is in 9th position. This is one I never played back in the day due to it being disc only. It does remind me a lot of Pirates, though not as good, as you set sail for uncharted lands. There's a problem with this game though, it's very slow paced, so if you're wanting a wham bam thank you ma'am experience, then this won't be for you. In 8th place we have Legacy of the Ancients. So many RPGs are hard to get into, but not with Legacy of the Ancients. Yeah, initially it's a bit slow, but once you have built up the strength to be able to tackle dungeons, the game steps up a gear and chucks you straight in amongst the action. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to play a game without too much thinking, and this definitely delivers in that department. Seventh place is taken by Racing Destruction Set. So this is a game that is on a lot of my lists, as it's one of the best loved racing games on the system. It's also one of the best multiplayer games too, and that's where for me this game excels. It's fully customizable and has hilarious gravity options that made a good 2-player game totally awesome. Bard's Tale, The Tale of the Unknown is in 6th position. I really could have included all the Bard's Tale games in this list, as they were all brilliant, but for me this is the best of them, as it was the first and the one that really took us to the fantasy world of our own. Like I say, the other 2 games were also great, but for a 10-year-old kid back in the day this was very special. In 5th place we have Wasteland. This is one of the first post-apocalyptic RPGs made, and it's in the wake of a nuclear war between the USA and the Soviet Union. I never played this game when I was young, as it's disc only, but if I had it would probably have given me nightmares, as the war between the two countries was very much a topic when I was younger. Anyway, I've played it now and it's one of the best RPGs I've ever played on the system. Fourth place is taken by M.U.L.E. Out of all the games on this list, this one is probably the most mentioned when I do C64 games lists. People love this game, that's for sure, and it's not for the graphics and sound, which let's face it, are nostalgic but equally terrible. What they love it for is it's a unique multiplayer strategy economics game and has never been touched since by any game of this genre for how good it is. Skate or Die is in 3rd position. Back in 1987, skateboard games were the dog's bollocks. 1 year earlier we had 720 Degrees on arcade, but unfortunately the C64 version was crap. Luckily for us we got Skate or Die, which was a classic. It's a great looking game too, and for a skateboarder like me this was definitely a go-to game for an 11-year-old OSG. In 2nd place we have Archon, Light and Dark. So this game has just lost out on the top spot, but it was actually there until a few days ago when I got so engrossed in the next game I realised that although this is an all-time classic, it just doesn't live up to the next game. Anyway, don't let that put you off. This is a truly brilliant timeless multiplayer that will drag you in and spit you out totally satisfied. And now, in 1st place we have Project Firestart. So as I just said, this game has captivated me in recent times. I'm gonna long play it on my channel at some point, but at the moment I'm still in the wow, I can't believe they did this on the C64 back in 1989. The storyline and atmosphere is straight out of the best sci-fi films we've ever seen, like Aliens etc, and it's a game that just delivers on all aspects. I never played this when I was a kid, but now I have, I know just what a brilliant game I missed out on. Okay, that's it for this video. Personally, I found some cracking games that I probably would never have played if Sid hadn't asked me to do this list a while back. As with all my lists, this order is completely subjective, and with Electronic Arts having a great catalogue, I may have missed some of your favourites. So let me know in the comments below what your favourite Electronic Arts games are. As I said in the intro, if you want video requests and your name in the end credits like these rowdy bunch going up the screen right now, get on over to my Patreon channel and get these perks for as little as $1. Please drop this video a like on the way out if you've enjoyed it, and if you haven't, be sure to let me know why, as I'm always trying to improve what I do. Till next time, this is OSG signing out.